Hey everyone, welcome to Small Town Music. This is our first episode and hopefully a long line of many episodes and many seasons. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So to start off, I'm Katie. I teach at a very small school in a very small town. I grew up in a very small school in a very small town. I went and got my bachelor's of music education at IU. I play the oboe and yeah.
And I'm Laura. We teach together. I am the choir and general music side to her band. And I also graduated from the IU Jacobs School of Music a few years before her. And so I'm primarily a vocalist in my trade.
I'm currently getting my master's online through Ball State, and she already has her master's, which she also did an online program. Okay, so our school, it's about 800 give or take kids pre-K through 12, depending on the day. So it's very small. It's one pre-K through 12 building. So for any of you out there who are in a similar situation, you are not alone. And that's kind of the point of our podcast here, is to help give you resources, to help give you guidance about things that you just you have no idea what's going on. It's okay. We're with you. We're here. We've experienced it. We are experiencing it. Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that even though we both grew up in small towns and went through small town music programs, when we went to college and were training to be teachers, this was not what we were prepared for. And so it's been a learning curve, and it's an ever-changing atmosphere, just, well, like all teaching is. And so we're just here to help you out, to help the small guys out. So many things that we read, we think, yeah, that'd be great, if I actually had that kind of resource, but we don't, and so we're here to help you through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my program, I have 6th grade beginning bands, 7th and 8th grade combined middle school band, and 9th through 12th grade high school band. With that, we have pep band, which is a huge deal in our small town for basketball games. We don't have a football team, so that is nice in the fall. I do marching band, air quotes for those of you listening, because we do 3 or 4 parades, which is a lot, but I don't have to come up with drill or go to marching competitions or all that stuff, which is really helpful. We do a pit for the musical, but oftentimes the kids that would probably be in the pit are involved in a lot of other things, which we'll talk about as a unique thing to small town schools. We do solo and ensemble contests. We do concert band contest. We try to take a trip to Disney or Orlando. They've gone to New York, Gatlinburg, St. Louis, places like that. Every other year. We've kind of missed a couple years because of COVID going on. But our hope is to go to Orlando in the spring. Not with our band kids, because not enough band kids signed up this year. Which can definitely be a future episode.
So as far as my choir program goes, so my day is actually spent teaching pre-K through 4th grade general music, and then I have a 7th grade vocal music 12-week rotation class. So it's kind of choir, but not a full choir. And so that's my day. So that means that all of my choirs are extracurricular. So I have a 3rd through 5th grade elementary choir, and typically I have a 6th through 8th grade choir and a 9th through 12th grade choir. But right now, with COVID and with numbers and everything, I've actually combined my 6th through 12th grade singers. So I'm pretty much managing a 3rd through 5th grade elementary choir and a middle high school mixed choir. And so it makes for some long days sometimes. We have rehearsals starting at 7 a.m., and then we'll rehearse until, I try not to go, I have 2 small kids, and so I try not to go past 5 or 5:30 unless we're in musical season, and balancing, family and all that. Again, something else you can look forward to in a future episode.
So I also teach a STEAM class, a 12-week rotation class. So every 12 weeks I get a new, group of kids. So that, if you don't know what that is, it stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants on that one, but I really enjoy it, and I've learned a lot. And I also do 5th grade general music and preschool general music, intermixed with all my band stuff as well.
You learn to be a jack of all trades.
So some of the things in our program that we fight against pretty often are extracurriculars. So our kids that are involved in the music program, especially in high school, are often also involved in the ROTC program, the basketball program, cheerleading, Redliners dance team,
Soccer,
that's a big one,
really?
tennis, baseball, softball,
track,
golf,
cross country,
bowling, the bowling league. We have an arm wrestling club. We have a guitar club. We have, a million tiny little clubs. We have so many activities that kids are being pulled into.
Not to mention having jobs after school and
You know,
other community
Sometimes their
involvement.
families want to spend time with them,
Jeez.
which is a joke, by the way. We understand that is important too. And they have homework. And speaking of homework, also their curriculum includes, we're an accredited early college high school, meaning students can graduate with their associate's degree along with their high school diploma. So not only are we fighting extracurricular time, we're fighting curricular time, especially for class time. For me, especially because they won't take band, so that they can take they have to fill out their transcript with all of these college classes, which is I understand it's important, but it's a very frustrating thing when I know that these kids could really benefit from being in the band program too.
So as a music teacher, it's just things we have to fight with. Again, since my choirs are entirely extracurricular, I battle the scheduling conflicts all the time. I battle my alarm didn't go off for the 7 a.m. rehearsal a lot. And so it really is a lesson in flexibility. It's a lesson in teaching kids how to manage their many different commitments that they've signed up for. And sometimes they learn that maybe they can't do everything. But one of my favorite things about a small school that maybe isn't an opportunity at a big school is that kids can be involved in all the things that they're interested in. If they love to dance and run track and be in the choir, they can do all of those things. And really, at a small school, we need them to do all those things in order to, maintain those programs.
Yeah, for sure. I know that bigger schools fight this problem as well, but I know that they have such a much larger pool to choose from. We graduate about 45 to 60 kids per class, whereas a school much bigger than us will graduate, 600-700 kids per class. So our pool to choose from is just a lot smaller, and we have a lot more kids that do many extracurriculars versus kids that, I just do band or I just do choir.
Right. So it's hard to get those kids that are only dedicated to your program. And so you really have to learn how to work with the kids, teach the kids to manage their schedules, and learn to work with the coaches and work together as a school to make these things work for all these kids.
So yeah, I have about 20 in each of my band class on any given day, which leaves me with some really interesting instrumentation, which again, if future episode, we'll talk about instrumentation and how that's affected and how I deal with that. We are doing this podcast because we often see a high turnover rate in teachers in small towns programs because it's often seen as kind of a stepping stone to a bigger program. This is just to get your experience, to get your feet wet before you head on to that bigger, better, super awesome powerhouse program. And I'm here to tell you, we don't have to be a stepping stone. I think part of the reason that we don't have a ton of kids involved in our programs, or more than we think we should, is because teachers often don't stick around and they don't build those relationships with the kids and with the community. Now, COVID is kind of a different story and has thrown a huge wrench in our plans and our ability to build our programs. But I know that, I know for a fact that when a new director takes over, kids will quit no matter how much they disliked or liked the previous director.
Right. So we're hoping that with this podcast, we can encourage you to stick around, stick with it, find all the benefits that there are to being a small town music teacher, and really to just encourage you to dig in and to stick around for those kids, because the communities that you can be a part of, the relationships that you can build are absolutely worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to hear from you, especially in the future. We're definitely going to bring people on to interview, whether in person or over Zoom or something like that. We're really hopeful that we can get that going pretty soon. So if you have things you want to tell us, any questions, hey, this has really worked well for my program, any things like that, Please email us at smalltownmusicpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Again, smalltownmusicpodcast@gmail.com. We also have an Instagram.
We do.
Is it small.town or smalltown dot?
I think it's smalltown dot.
Let me look it up really quick because I would hate to incorrectly tell you what our Instagram is.
Yeah. And we can link it. But yeah, it's we definitely want to hear from you. Like, what's your program like? What are you struggling with? What do you want to hear from us? What questions do you have? And we'll do our best.
Instagram handle is small.townmusic. Small.townmusic. All right, so please email us, find us on Instagram. We'll be putting posts up, all those good things. So today, a special segment. We might throw these in every once in a while. Things that we love, and it can either be like a resource we found, or it can be like these awesome pair of shoes that are great for teachers, or I don't know, just something that like makes your day better. One thing that I found that I loved is this website called teachrock.org. It has a ton of resources for general music, especially, I mean, they do a whole like history of rock and roll unit. They have a lot of STEAM lesson plans and also distance learning. They call it distance learning package. And so it's like these curated slideshows with videos embedded and worksheets and everything so that kids can kind of learn on their own. But I use it in-person class for my students, and we get to learn a whole ton of things. Like we learned about the history of recording. You can learn about distortion pedals. You can learn about they do a whole like Beatles unit, and it's super helpful. The amount of materials they have on that website that are super easy for you to use are amazing, and it makes your life so much easier.
Yeah. One website that I love, and you may have heard of it before, is Teachers Pay Teachers. I am a very type B person. I do not spend hours decorating my music room. I do not spend hours making my worksheets look pretty. I don't even want to spend hours making worksheets or really anything like that. And so Teachers Pay Teachers is a great place to get resources that are made by other music teachers, things that they have used in their classrooms, things that they have already tried and tested and worked well for them, and then they have them up there for you to buy, and they're super cheap. You know, we're talking a few dollars that you can throw towards another teacher to help them out, and it helps you out whenever you need a last minute, I'm studying the Nutcracker and want an activity to do along with that, or we're doing instrument families. I just found some great instrument family crosswords, some great instrument for my third graders and for my first graders, some great like trace the instrument and its name, little just activities for them to do, and the kids loved them. So teacherspayteachers.com is a great place to help out another teacher and get some great resources for yourself.
So again, if you want to email us, smalltownmusicpodcast@gmail.com. No spaces, no capitals, just smalltownmusicpodcast. And then small.townmusic on Instagram. So watch us on YouTube, listen to our podcast. Thank you. Hope to see you next time.
Bye.